From America's farm to fork capital and some of the richest farmland in the world, it's time for What's in Season with Michael Marks.
Welcome to the December episode of What's in Season with Michael Marks. We have a jam-packed show for you today. Oh my goodness, I can't wait to get into this. Jeremy Patton's going to be with us today. We're going to level up that vegetable tray that you take to the parties this time of year. We're going to level that up, and we're going to show you some fun things. Dr. Chelsea Azarkan, how can we stay healthy even through the holiday season? Ag in the Classroom is here. It's beginning to look a lot like citrus. There we go. And of course, Chef Adam Peckel is with us today. A little winter comfort food for you in a twist. Oh, you're going to love it. So let's get started. You know, this is the holiday season, so I wanted to give you my 5 culinary truths of a perfect holiday meal. 5 culinary truths. Here we go. I want you to start with shallots. Right? You've never seen a shallot? Oh my goodness, it's in the onion section. You probably walked by it 1,000 times. When you walk into a restaurant and you see, and you have a really great meal, great sauces, great dressings, this is why, shallots. So instead of onions, you know, add some shallots in with those onions in your stuffing and everything else. So use a shallot, and everybody around the dinner table is going to say, hey, that tasted just like a restaurant meal, and this is why, shallots. Second rule of a perfect culinary meal, right here. Use fresh herbs. Here's the 3 that you're going to want to use. Of course, you want to use some sage and rosemary and some thyme. Those are the 3 that you're really going to need for your poultry, if you're going to have poultry, and in your dressing. So please use fresh herbs. By the way, when you're cutting your fresh herbs, make sure you use a very sharp knife. And if your knives aren't sharp, take it to the meat department of your local grocery store. They'll sharpen it for you. So fresh herbs, that's number 2. Number 3, your potatoes. Please do not over whip your potatoes. When I was a kid, my job was to whip the mashed potatoes. And I would whip them good. And then we get to the table and the spoon would just stick in the mashed potatoes because I turned all of that starch into glue. So please, do me a favor, leave some lumps in your mashed potatoes. Don't over whip them. And by the way, use some red and Yukon Gold in with your russets. Sweeten up that mashed potatoes. And also, our 4th culinary rule, your green beans. Don't buy your green beans until the day before you use your green beans. Green beans breathe faster than any other fruit or vegetable. So if you buy them like 4 or 5 days ahead of time, you put them in the refrigerator, they're doing jumping jacks in your refrigerator. When you get them out 5 days later, say, those look horrible. Well, that's why. They've been breathing very, very fast. So your green beans, buy just before you use them. And my 5th culinary rule, you've got so much to do. Spend time with your family. It's okay. You can use some bagged fresh lettuce, some fresh cut lettuce. So go ahead, and I give you permission to use fresh cut lettuce. Hey, coming up, we're going to have Ag in the Classroom. We're going to have Dr. Chelsea is with us. But right after this, we're going to have Jeremy Patton level up that vegetable tray. Don't go away. I want to talk a little bit about pineapple. Please, when you have parties, when you have your holiday meals, make sure you have plenty of pineapple. Pineapple is the universal symbol of friendship and welcome. So please make sure you have plenty of pineapple. And by the way, see how this is laying down? When you get your pineapple home, just lay it down just like this. Let it chill out. If you store it like this is the ripest part of the fruit right there. It's the ripest part. So if you store that heavy pineapple all in the ripest part, it's just going to get soft and it's going to get soft down there. So you don't want that. Just let it chill out and get ready for your holiday season. Jeremy Patton's with us. Oh my goodness. You know, everybody takes a vegetable tray to parties, and that's a waste of $25 because nobody eats the vegetables, unfortunately.
That's right.
Even though I've been trying to get them. Jeremy, you have a company. Tell us what you do.
So Culture and Crumb is all about elevated cheese experiences and engagements. So we like to bring cheese and charcuterie to people. It brings people together around tables, and we love to have the experience that we share in our home shared in others' homes as well.
And you've been in cheese for a long time. You're a cheese expert for 20 years almost.
Yes.
Well, we have amazing cheese right here.
We certainly do, and what we're going to talk about today is how to elevate your holiday charcuterie board. And I want to teach you some tips and tricks on how to do this.
Okay.
So number 1 is you want to alternate your colors and your cheese styles.
Okay.
So we want to do a blend of different kinds of milks. I like to use goat's milk. This is our famous honey chev ball that we actually make. It's on every board that we sell. We have our cheddar here, which is cow's milk. This is goat's milk. And we're also going to use a sheep's milk manchego. And one of the things that I like to do is style the board. And so when I say style the board,
okay.
You know, in Europe they do very simple. In America we like Instagram worthy, you know, charcuterie boards. So we're gonna start by just taking these pieces here, and we're gonna start.
Triangles.
We've already cut them into triangles, and we're just gonna start alternating back and forth in a zigzag pattern here, giving it some beautiful texture, allowing the cheese to shine. And you notice I've cut these into pieces that our guests can just grab off the board. They're gonna be able to take everything off the board, put it on a plate, and easy to eat. It's not gonna have to be something that they have to cut into. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna create some salami roses. So you see these beautiful salami roses?
Yeah, they're gorgeous. That must take, do you need an engineering degree to do that?
Not quite, just a cheese degree. Okay. And every one of us is gonna have a cheese degree today.
Okay.
So 3 pieces of salami, we're gonna fold them in half, very simple, and we're just gonna roll gently there. And after that, look at that.
Oh my goodness.
We're gonna have a beautiful salami rose.
Wait a second, is that something I can do?
I think you can.
Okay, give me 3. Give me 3.
There you go, Michael.
I got my 3.
Take your 3.
Okay, let's see if I can do this properly. I gotta fold them in half. Okay, and then roll it up
nice
tight.
And roll nice and tight. Yep.
Nice tight roll up, right? Okay.
And I like to put my salami in little rose gardens there. So
look at that.
Why don't you put one right there in the corner? That looks beautiful.
Jeremy,
absolutely.
did I pass?
You passed. You're a cheese expert.
Okay, okay.
And then the last thing I want to show you how to do is we're going to take some of these longer blocks of cheese. This is actually Gruyere, and you can find this at your cheese shop. And if we're going to cut this into nice little wedges here, and this is kind of fun, especially as we get into the holidays, getting close to Christmas. What we're going to create here is a little Christmas tree, and I'm going to show you how to do this. This is kind of fun. It kind of elevates that board and makes it look like, what we're going to do is just take that piece there, push that piece there. See how I'm just alternating back and forth, and what turned out, what started as a block of cheese now looks like a little Christmas tree right there.
Decorated Christmas tree. Oh
Absolutely.
my goodness.
And we can finish up with some beautiful fresh rosemary. You described in your first segment using fresh herbs. I love fresh herbs. So if we put the fresh herbs there, we can finish off that.
Just so it does look like a Christmas tree.
It does look like a Christmas tree. A couple more pieces of salami there. We're gonna roll that up into some roses. And your guests are about to enjoy the most amazing charcuterie board they've ever had. Look at that.
So level up your vegetable trays, people, and you can do this. If I can make a rose out of salami, you can too as well.
We like to throw fresh fruit and nuts and stuff just to fill those gaps up. But that's one way to level up your charcuterie board this holiday season.
Beautiful, and it looks gorgeous. Of course, the breads and crackers.
Absolutely. You have to have the crumb, culture and crumbs. We got to have the crumb.
Okay.
It's a serving vessel to get that cheese and charcuterie in your mouth.
Okay, speaking of cheese.
Yes.
Cheese and apples and pears, they go together. But not all cheese goes with all apples, and not all apples and pears go with all cheeses. What's the rule on mixing our cheeses and pears?
So what I love to do is if something grows up together, it tends to work together. Unless you're siblings, right? Then you might not. Apples and Gruyere. Apples grow at about 3,000 to 8,000 feet. They're a high altitude fruit. Gruyere, or alpine cheeses, they're also high altitude cheeses. So if you grow together, you thrive together. So Gruyere, apples, it's a perfect pairing.
Okay.
Perfect pairing. Now move down to here. You've heard of cheddar and apple, right?
Yes.
You know where that started? 17th century, we used to put cheddar on apple pie. We still do in the Midwest. But have you ever had cheddar and apple pie?
Yes,
okay.
and it's so good.
It started in the 17th century in England. But it was because instead of adding cream or ice cream, you would add cheddar. That richness, that bite, that savoriness of the cheese pairs perfectly with that sweet, crisp crunch of the apple.
And speaking of pears, we have some beautiful pears.
We have a great pairing here.
Okay.
See what I did?
Yes.
So we've got pears, which again, sweet and crisp and crunchy, go with really savory cheeses like blue cheese, Gorgonzola, Stilton, and Roquefort. So this is an amazing blue cheese. It's gonna have those earthy qualities to it that are just beautiful, but what it needs is a little sweetness. And so as pears are coming into season, they're perfectly sweet. They're gonna have a little crunch, which goes with the creaminess of the cheese. it's going to be perfect.
Oh, that is so
absolutely
good.
perfect.
Culture and Crumb, ladies and gentlemen. Jeremy Patton, thank you so much. Level up your vegetable and fruit trays. You can do it. Hey, coming up, we're going to have Ag in the Classroom here, so don't go away. Well, it's beginning to look a lot like citrus. How many keys was that? I sang in like 3 different keys right there. I'm looking at something from Ag in the Classroom called Hungry Caterpillar that uses citrus. Jennifer is with us from Ag in the Classroom. Thank you so much for being with us today. What is this citrus thing and a caterpillar?
Okay, I sing that song all the time too to my family, and they laugh at me every December. And citrus pops in California. I don't know if people realize that in December. Of course you do. So at Ag in the Classroom, we really want to use California commodities to teach about California agriculture. So we're doing something called Hungry Caterpillar.
Okay.
It's really fun. It's a little ironic because caterpillars and ag, you don't want them together, but on a plate, a little hungry caterpillar that makes kids eat their fruits is a great thing. So it's really simple and it's a fun way.
And we can use any citrus. You have oranges, we can use lemons, we can use tangerines, we can use any of them, right?
Right, grapefruit, I mean, would that work?
Grapefruit.
I don't know. So basically you have, this is what you need. You need 1 orange, blueberries and raisins, and that's it. And then we're gonna have some fun on a plate. So what I do is, you're gonna, it's a big knife here. You're gonna cut 6, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 slices of oranges.
Let me show something on that orange as people can see. As we move closer to the holiday season, the orange is very pale in color, but as we get colder night temperatures, that's when the color of the orange really starts to color up. So don't worry if it's a little bit pale right now.
Okay.
Don't worry at all.
Yeah, and these obviously are nowhere being ripe. I just took that off my tree, but this is from the market, and so they'll get oranger as the season progresses when they're on trees. Let's see, we'll do 6 slices, and then we're simply going to create a caterpillar on a plate. And
nice.
California is known for citrus. I think when I grew up, I thought it was Florida, but we're the #1 citrus producing state. Correct?
Yes, navel oranges, the eating orange.
Okay.
Florida deals with all those juice oranges.
Okay, that's what I thought. So we are making a caterpillar, simply drawing it as you will.
Yes.
I'm looking at that paper there to see.
And the kids will have fun creating their caterpillar.
So there's the caterpillar, and then another California commodity. Let's do blueberries for the eyes of the caterpillar. This is so fun.
Beautiful blueberries. They grow them down through the valley, right?
Yes, and
San Joaquin Valley.
I think 27 counties in California grow blueberries. So yeah, another California commodity. And finally, for the little feet, legs, I don't know how to say that.
We'll call them feet.
Yeah, right. I'm not an entomologist, but raisins, California raisins. We grow nearly 100% of all the raisins in the United States. So
it all started with the Thompson family out of Yuba City, who made the whole raisin industry start.
Okay, that's exciting. I didn't even know that.
Where we get the name Thompson seedless grape?
Right. That makes sense. Finally, you want little antennas on the caterpillar, so you can take just a little piece of rind and, I don't know, does this look like a caterpillar?
How cute is that? Oh my goodness.
So a fun way to utilize citrus. And I do want to give a shout out to Marshall Elementary School in Stockton, California. They took citrus and did a holiday craft with it. And we did the same. Ours just says ag, but this is another way just to utilize California commodities in a different way around the holidays.
Tell us a little bit about Ag in the Classroom.
So Ag in the Classroom is a nonprofit, and our whole mission and our goal is to increase awareness and understanding of California agriculture for teachers, for their students, and for the population at large.
So moms and dads and grandparents,
yes.
Where can we learn more?
Learnaboutag.org. We have free resources. I really want to stress that. Everything is free, and we have just an abundance of information.
Like this right here, Hungry Caterpillar.
So,
you can get this and print it out yourself.
Yep, so enjoy.
Jennifer, thank you so much for bringing this Hungry Caterpillar to the plate. Hey, coming up, Dr. Chelsea Zarkon is with us today. How to stay healthy through the holidays. You won't want to miss this. All right, the holiday parties have started up. All the cookies, all the cakes, all the pastries, all the stuff for the holidays. How can we stay healthy through the holidays? Well, I know a person who can help us do that. Dr. Chelsea Zarkon is with us. Another house call from Dr. Chelsea. This is a difficult time of year for so many people.
It is, but it's a fun time of year, and there are lots of things that we can do to stay healthy and enjoy all the things that we love about the holidays too.
How can we do that?
Okay, so my first thing is don't stop moving just because it's cold. So I know it's really tempting to be at home on the couch with your cocoa, but take it on a walk with you. So one thing that we do in my family that we look forward to all year long, we call it a Christmas lights walk. We go after dinner, which is a great time to get moving for blood sugar regulation. And you grab your flashlights and your coats, and we go and look at everyone's lights on a walk near our house or in other neighborhoods. And you know what, if you don't want to do that, you can do a YouTube video in your living room. You can even do chair workouts. So there's all kinds of...
Jack LaLanne got us hooked on that years ago. I remember
We're bringing
that.
it back.
Okay.
So there's plenty of
I like that.
things you can do to stay active during the holidays. The other thing to think about is just because we're adding in indulgent foods, we don't want to take out healthy foods.
Okay, so
Yes.
hold on. Let me get this straight. We're going to have some indulging food.
Yes.
We are.
Yeah.
Okay, doctor says we are. But we need to keep the healthy food going.
Right, so I usually recommend at least 2 healthy meals a day, and we want to have those rich in protein and fiber from vegetables because those things are going to stabilize our blood sugar so we don't get the spikes that lead to the indulgent foods turning to fat.
And speaking of indulging food, should we make some boundaries with the indulging food, like only 1 cookie, not 2?
Well, I do
mean,
think
things like that.
I do think that's a good idea. The other trick that I use is timing is really everything. So you might have heard of time restricted eating or intermittent fasting. The easiest way to do this all throughout the holidays is a 12-hour eating, 12-hour fasting window, which means I eat from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Now, if that feels really good for you, if you're really experienced with it, you could start a little later. You could start at 10 a.m. You could start at noon even. Now, everybody thinks that breakfast is the only meal to skip, but actually, dinner works really well with our circadian rhythm, so that is a meal we could skip too. But what you don't want to do is eat junk food all day and then skip dinner. You don't want to skip breakfast and only eat coffee. You don't want to fast beyond the 12 and 12 window every single day. So we're not starving ourselves because we're eating junk food. We are just compacting it with nutritious food and a smaller window to give our bodies time to recover from that.
What about setting goals for the holiday season?
Yeah, I think one of my goals is to enjoy it, to be present, to stay healthy,
Be with family and friends.
Be with family and friends. And then after the holidays, we want to get back on track. So I have a program starting in January, Metabolic Restart, and we have a special code for viewers. But basically, we're going to, as a group, get healthy and stay healthy for the new year. And I usually do that by having people eat more calories and more carbs. So it's a lot of fun.
Well, hold on. More calories, more carbs, and we can lose weight? Is that what I heard the doctor say?
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Tell us a little bit more about that program that you have starting in January.
Yeah, so you can sign up for it on my website, chelseazarkon.com, and a special discount for viewers. You can use the code YPM2025.
I like that. YPM as in your produce
That's
man.
right.
I like that. YPM 2025.
Yeah.
Dr. Chelsea, thank you so much for being with us. As always, some really helpful hints to get us through these holiday times. They're important times, but we need to be careful as well, right?
That's right.
All right. Coming up, Chef Adam Peckel is with us. Let's see what he has. Don't go away. Well, do you still have one of these hanging around? Don't throw it away. Chef Adam Peckel's with us today. He's got a trick for those huge squash. Oh my goodness, this is going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. But we're going to start with my favorite vegetable. We're going to do a little BS today, ladies and gentlemen, Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, Brussels sprouts. In my experience, you either love them or you hate them, and it really comes down to how you cook them. And I think a lot of us grew up maybe with a parent or a grandparent that overcooked them, and
smelled
as
up
you
the
know,
whole house.
Smelled up the whole house. You get that sulfur out. So one of my tricks is hard. You want to cook them hard and fast and get some color on them instead of boiling. Don't get the pot of water out. That's not what you want to do. It kind of starts with cutting them. Of course, we like to cut that end off. I go a little deeper than maybe some people do. Maybe people just nip that end off. I like the leaves. I like a couple leaves to fall off, and I like a nice flat bottom, so then I can cut them kind of thin. So I've got this thinner Brussels sprout that's going to cook faster, and I can use a high temp cooking method. Now, I'll usually do it in a nice cast iron pan, or you can do it under the broiler. I've done them in my my wood burning oven at home. My little uni oven does a great job. So just a nice thin, you keep all those little leaves in there.
And by the way, Chef, for those of you who have grown up hating Brussels sprouts, the varieties of Brussels sprouts that we have today are much more mild and sweeter
than the
Brussels sprouts of our grandparents.
Oh, I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that. I think that they're great. Again, you cook them with just a little bit of oil, salt, and pepper. I've got some right here, as a matter of fact. I used a little bit of lemon, a little bit of garlic. Started in this nice steel pan. And so you like that, get them real nice and hot on the stove, on the range, and then flip them right into the broiler. And so you can see all these nice little brown and crispy bits. There's still a little bit of bite to them. You still want a little bit of that crunch in there. And then Brussels sprouts like bold flavors. So what I've done here is we're kind of doing a little play on like a little bit of a Caesar salad. So I've got a little bit of just Caesar dressing.
Really?
The Brussels love that lemon, the Parmesan. Both of them go really well together. And again, so this is what I'm calling a charred Brussels sprout Caesar salad. You could serve this as a salad course if you wanted to, or just as a nice side dish. I'm serving this as a side dish tomorrow night.
So it can be either cold or hot.
Little, you know, I like a nice little bit warm, and a little bit of those croutons, some shaved Parmesan, and you've got probably the best Brussels sprouts you've ever had.
Yes, indeed.
Now pumpkins.
Okay.
Well, you know what? You got that old pumpkin. How about you just roast that thing? Scoop it out, roast it, and fill it with your favorite side dish. And right here we've got this one. We got mac and cheese. You roast the squash off, about an hour and a half, fill it with your favorite side dish, and there you go.
Oh, the kids are going to love this.
And
what cheeses do you have in your mac and cheese?
So I've got some jack cheese, cheddar cheese, a little cream cheese, and Parmesan cheese. And that's one less dish that you got to clean up at the end of the meal.
Oh my goodness! One less dish. Yeah, could we do anything with the
Absolutely.
squash?
I mean, you could just get a little bit of that squash right in there with it.
There you go.
If you really
Perfect.
wanted to make it healthy for the doctor, we could really just mix all that squash up, and then we've got pumpkin mac and cheese.
Oh, the doctor would love that.
I bet.
Dr. Chelsea would like that. A lot more vitamin A in there.
That's right. That's right.
What a great holiday meal. I'm ready to dig in. Well, thank you all for joining us for What's in Season for the December episode. And I want to be the first to wish you a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a Happy New Year. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in the new year.